Hey, welcome back. So this day, first off, if you have not hit the subscribe channel yet, the subscribe button, the red subscribe button, make sure to click that. We do upload fit tips, health tips every single week, 4 times a week to be exact, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you hear anything helpful today on this video, make sure to smash the like button, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, let's jump in. So today I want to talk to you briefly about why I was a weight loss failure for a decade. Why did I fail at every single weight loss diet, whatever it was that I tried for a decade? And look, here's the deal. I tried a lot. Like, I was that person that was always diet hopping, weight loss hopping, every pill, shake, whatever under the sun. I tried for a decade. And for a decade, I rode the weight loss struggle bus. Like, it was bad. Like, I was a card carrying daily rider on the struggle bus. And I would always see like before and afters of people, you know, in magazines, on TV, on the internet, on YouTube. And I would always be like, dang it, how come they can and I can't? Like, how come they can? What do they have that I don't? What are they doing that I'm not? Is there some kind of like little secret society where they're like, okay, like you can and you can't? Like, what do they know that I don't know? And it took me a really long time. Oh, like, I'm hard-headed, and sometimes I'm a fast learner, but sometimes I'm not. And in this particular area, especially with my health, especially with weight loss, I was a slow learner for a very long time. And I was really good at denial and not really seeing why I was failing miserably, not just like littly, miserably bad, hardcore when it came to weight loss. Like, there were so many areas in my life where I'm like, yes, I'm doing really good in this area. Then there was weight loss. Like, whoop, burn, burn, burn. Like, I was doing so bad. And when I finally realized the reason, there's lots of reasons. I could talk to you for hours on all the little mistakes I was making. And I do that with my clients that I work with. Like, we actually look at why they're failing, what they're doing, like habits they have that are causing them to stay stuck. But this one right here that I want to talk to you about today in the next couple minutes is the biggest one. All right. You ready? Are you ready? All right. The biggest reason why I failed at weight loss for a decade was me. It was me. And I'm going to explain that because I know I just lost some of you there. You went, what? No, Carmen, you do not know how hard I've tried, and you do not know what I've done, and you do not know how much money I've spent. Yes, I do, because I did that too. I tried hundreds of things. I spent thousands of dollars. I invested so much time and energy and emotion into all these things. But here's the deal. I was never committed to any of them. And here's what I mean by that. So often I would get started. So let me back up for a second. The number one reason why I failed at every single one is I lacked commitment. Because out of commitment comes consistency. Out of commitment comes a refusal to quit. Out of commitment comes discipline. Out of commitment comes persistence. Out of commitment comes dedication. Out of commitment comes doing the thing you don't want to do that you should do. So when you're committed, everything else kind of comes with that. But when you're not committed, you quit. When you're not committed, you go halfway in. When you're not committed, you get distracted by some other person on social media's, weight loss story, and you start comparing yours to theirs. You start comparing what they're doing to what you're doing. When you're not committed, you eat right when you feel like it. When you're not committed, you do your workout when it's convenient. When you're not committed, you choose the cheesecake over the carrots, even though you said you weren't going to eat the cheesecake. Failure and quitting is a sign of uncommitted. So what does commitment look like? Commitment looks like being all in, not straddling the fence. Uncommitment sounds like, let me jump back over here for a second. I'm jumping back over to uncommitted. Uncommitted sounds like, well, I'm going to try this thing out for the next 30, 60, or 90 days, and we'll see how it goes. That is somebody who is uncommitted. And look, I can speak very strongly on this because I was the uncommitted, wibbly wobbly, 1 foot in, 1 foot out bride for a decade. For a decade, I was the uncommitted chick, going through seasons of committed or days of committed, uncommitted, committed, uncommitted. My commitment was based on my feelings, on what was going on in the world around me, on what was going on with my life. My commitment was based on everybody else, which is being uncommitted. And so I can speak very, very, very strongly on this because I've lived it. I've done it. You know when you've done something and you're like, look, don't mess with me on this. Like I know what I'm talking about. And this is one of those areas that I'm like there's a lot of things I don't know, but this is one of the things I do know. And I'm like, don't mess with me on this. So, because here's the thing, all those diets that I failed at, all those diets that failed me, all those diets that didn't work for me, at the same time, they weren't working for me, they were working for somebody else. At the same time, where I was like, well, so here's that voice of uncommitment I was about to tell you. You know, I'm going to go ahead and try this out and we'll see how it goes for 30 days. We'll see how it goes for 60 days. We'll see how it goes for 90 days. And if it doesn't work, I'm out. Imagine, you think about a marriage, right? A marriage only succeeds through commitment. Knowing that there's going to be days where you want to quit, knowing there's going to be moments where you want to flip them off and rip their arm off and beat them with it, knowing there's going to be moments that they make you mad, tick you off, all those things. But it's saying I am committed through better or worse, sickness and health, till death do us part. Well, now for someone who's committed, they mean that, right? Like they mean that there's going to be hard times and I know I'm not always going to like you, but I'm going to choose to love you even though today I don't like you. There's been seasons in my marriage I did not like my husband in those moments, but if you walked to the altar and you said, all right, honey, I do unless you go gain 50 pounds. I do unless you cannot figure out how to get off your phone. I do unless you keep leaving your freaking underwear on the side of the bed and you don't pick them up. I do unless. If you go into a marriage with 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and by the way, conditions are a sign of uncommitment. I will unless. I do until. I do unless you blah, blah, blah. And so if you go into a marriage with uncommitment, it's going to fail. It doesn't stand a chance from the start. And it's the very same thing with your diets. It's the very same thing with your weight loss. If you go in with conditions, you're not all in. You're straddling the fence. And where there is a lack of commitment, there's a lack of everything else. And there will be a lack of success in the areas of which you lack commitment. And so the truth was, the biggest reason I was a weight loss failure for a decade is because I lacked commitment. Because while I was failing at that one diet that wasn't working for me and I was blaming the diet, there was somebody else succeeding. Any company that is in business and has been in business, it has employees in a shipping center, they're in business because their product has worked. They're not in business because they're scamming people. Those places get shut down, especially in the health and wellness industry. Those places get shut down quickly, especially in the diet, health and wellness industry. Quickly they get shut down. So if a diet company or a health company is in business, they're in business because they have a track record of helping people. And when I first had that revelation, it was a really hard pill to swallow because I actually then had to admit that it wasn't the diet's fault, that it was my fault. And I don't think I had taken responsibility for a decade of a diet failing being my fault. I never raised my hand and said, yes, it was my fault. I didn't follow it exactly. Yes, it was my fault. I never opened the DVDs I bought. Yep, it was my fault. Those shakes, Yep, they expired and I threw them out. Yep, it was my fault. When they said have a snack, I had 3 servings. Yep, they said drink my water, I didn't. Like, I never looked at the areas that I could improve or that I failed and said, yep, it was my fault. I take personal responsibility. I failed, not the diet. I didn't work, it worked. Never said that. It never even crossed my mind that I should. I did what was easy, and it was blame the diet. Blame why it didn't work. Look, there's a bazillion diets on the planet. And I'm biased. I think the one that I use, combining fitness with nutrition, marrying them together, I'm obviously biased. I think it's the best one. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you to pick one. Doesn't matter which one it is. Pick one and stick with it. Pick one and say, I'm going to do this until. Not for 30 days, not for 60 days, not for 90 days, until I get to my goal. And when I get to my goal, I'm going to keep doing it, even after I get to my goal. But stop chasing the fantasy of there's one especially made for you. Weight loss, I say this all the time, weight loss is simple. It's a simple science, but it is hard work. And it takes commitment. And when you come into something and you're committed, and you're there until you succeed, that's what I call taking failure off the table. And when you take failure off the table, when you have success and failure on the table, and you choose to remove failure, what is the only thing left on the table? The only thing left on the table is success. And so when you do this, I'm telling you, I could tell you a lot of things, but if I could only tell you one thing, it would be stay where you're at and be committed. Pick one path that you're going to use to lose the weight. And ride that baby all the way to the sunset. Ride it all the way to success. And so anyway, thanks so much for watching today. Make sure to hit the red subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.